What's going on? I'm Illegal Mist, and today we're looking at a counterattack team on Nightmare Hydra. This is absolutely going to change the game for Hydra, so make sure you guys watch and theory craft some teams of your own. Let's get right into it. Okay, we got the one key with the counterattack team. I think this is probably the first time that it's happened. I've never seen a video of someone using counterattack on Nightmare difficulty. I wanted to test them out and see how we would do on this, and I'm definitely pleased with how it went. It's pretty much full auto. We just selected the head that 8 champs. We can see, you know, 200 did a decent bit of healing, but Oella just healed everyone, kept everyone alive, and Chris' ally protection was pretty clutch for when Head of Wrath did come out with increased attack, and Sissia coming in with the majority of the damage. One thing I wish I hadn't done was used my Geo and my Uko for my Brutal team. I don't know why. I didn't think I wanted to test them out on this team, but I think they both could be fantastic additions to it. For Counterattack, we have her built in a Relentless set. We have her with 53k HP, 3.2k defense, 268 speed, 320 resist, and 350 accuracy. For her skills, we have her fully booked out, and then we also have her going down to Brimstone. For her masteries, we have her going down the offense and support tree. We have her primarily picking up War Master behind me, and then going down the support tree to get a little bit of extra accuracy and be able to cycle back to her abilities with Cycle of Magic. For Krisk, I have him built for a traditional Nightmare team. I have him as a resistance tank, so he has a lot of resistance. He's got 52k HP, 4k defense, 231 speed, 477 resist, and 320 accuracy. If I were going to build my Krisk specifically for this team, I would bump up his speed pretty substantially. I would lower his resist by almost 200, and then I would increase his speed so that way we don't need an accuracy aura in the lead. For his skills, he's fully booked out, and we have him with Brimstone. For his masteries, we have him going down the offense and defensive tree with traditional clan boss masteries. You could also have your Krisk go down the support tree so that way he picks up more accuracy as well as some turn meter fills and Lore of Steel. Master Hexer would also be a good choice for Krisk, as you can increase the duration of his decreased attack and decreased defense from the passive. For Sissia, she was also built for a traditional Nightmare team. She comes in with 46k HP, 3.3k defense, 244 speed, no resistance, and then 400 accuracy. The nice thing about Sissia, her A3 ability grants an extra turn if you place HP burn on all enemies. We had this proc a couple times, and it helps make it so that she doesn't have all of the buffs on her, so she's not the target for Head of Mischief. So you don't necessarily need to build her with a lot of resistance. We have her fully booked out, and we also have her going down for Brimstone. For her masteries, we have her going down the offensive tree, and she picks up Giant Slayer, as well as down the support tree, so that way we gain additional accuracy, Lore of Steel, and Master Hexer, so we can have the chance to extend the debuffs cast. For Oella, we also have her built in a Relentless set. She has 47k HP, 3.1k defense, 287 speed, 330 resistance, and 300 accuracy. She's fully booked out, and we also put Miracle Heal Blessing on her. This blessing's pretty nice for her, and I think when we get more Ascension on her blessing, it'll be even better. For Oella's masteries, we have her going down specifically the defense and support tree. I found Timely Intervention is really nice. There's a couple times that Krisk gets pretty low because his ally protection makes him take increased damage. So this gets her back to her skills faster, and she's either going to increase the turn meter so that Krisk or Counterattack can take another turn, or it'll give her the heal with her A2. For Coronar, we have him in a Provoke set. For his stats, we have him with 75k HP, 1.8k defense, 213 speed, 468 resistance, and 311 accuracy. I built Coronar specifically for Brutal Hydra, and you can see when we put the accuracy aura in the lead, he's able to land the majority of his debuffs. For his skills, we don't have any books, and we don't have any blessings on him. For his blessings, you can always go with Brimstone, but I'd say Cruelty is also a really good choice. For Coronar's masteries, we have him going down the offense and support tree, and we make sure that we grab Moral Master as his tier 6. That's where the majority of his damage comes from. Coronar is easily the most replaceable champion in this team. The main thing that he's doing is providing us with another Mischief tank, which anyone can do as long as they have 300 resistance on this team, and he gives us an AoE A1 and a Provoke. Because we didn't book out Coronar's A2, he only has a 75% chance of placing the Provoke. With Martyr and Krisk on the team, we normally have the Provoke up 100% of the time. For Martyr, we have her in Perception sets. We have her with 36k HP, 3.7k defense, 255 speed. We make sure that we get 100% crit rate and as much crit damage as we can. I was only able to get 178% crit, but we could see that she was doing a good bit of damage to heads that got destroyed. She also comes in with 318 resistance and 343 accuracy. For Martyr skills, we have her partially booked. Her A1 has all of the books except for one, so she's able to place decreased defense at a 60% chance instead of a 75% chance. Her A2 is fully booked out, so she has her increased defense and counterattack on a 3-turn cooldown. For her A3, we only have 2 books in it, so we attack all enemies and place decreased attack and provoke for 1 turn, but it's on a 6-turn cooldown instead of a 4-turn cooldown. Once I'm able to, I'll put the remainder 3 books into her, and I think between her and Krisk, the provoke should be up about 100% of the time. I think that'll open up the slot that Coronar's in, so we can go in with another damage dealer or someone else with an AoE A1. For Martyr's Blessings, I think you have quite a bit of variety. You could go in with something like Intimidating Presence, so that way you strengthen your team's aura, as well as giving her additional defense, HP, and resistance, and then eventually speed if you ever get a 6-star. But I think something like Brimstone is also solid, where you get the Smite debuff, as well as additional HP and accuracy. Something like Cruelty could be nice for Martyr, as it gives you additional crit damage, but the additional attack doesn't do anything for you. For Martyr's masteries, we have her going down the offense and support trees. For offensive tree, we make sure that we grab War Master, and for the support tree, we make sure to grab any additional accuracy, as well as the chance to increase the turn meter whenever our buffs are removed or expired. I also have her grabbing Lasting Gifts, as it gives us the chance to increase the duration of our buffs that she casts, and with Counterattack, we want to make sure we have it up 100% of the time. For the team's presets, I have Tuhonarok prioritizing her block buffs and decrease attack. Her A3 provides us with increased speed and increased defense, but we have both of those coming from other champions. The block buffs is probably the most important debuff to have on the enemy, so that way the Head of Mischief and the Head of Wrath can't cycle around and destroy our team. For Krisk, I just want to make sure that he opens up with the Provoke. For Martyr, I just want to make sure she opens with the Counterattack and increased defense. Oella, I only had her open up with the increased resistance. Coronar, I just have him open up with his decreased attack and decreased defense. And then for Sissia, I had her open up with her HP burn. For some reason, Sissia likes to open up with her A2, which places the decreased defense and weaken, but because we don't have any HP burns out, we're not able to place the decreased defense. If you wanted to, you could go in and prioritize her so that she always places her HP burn first, but I found the run we're in pretty consistently without it. I talked about this in my day in the life video, but I'm not sure that Krisk is totally needed in this team. He gives us an AoE decreased speed, but we're getting decreased speed from Oella at 100% chance, and when she has counterattack, she should be placing it on everyone. As well as Tuhonarok also goes in with an A1 decreased speed. Chris A2 gives us the ally protection, continuous heals on himself, and then he increases the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. And while this move is pretty irreplaceable, I find that the rest of his kit doesn't make as much sense with the current champions we have, and we could find another champion that fills a role similar to this. His A3 ability goes in and places Provoke, as well as increased defense on himself, and an increased speed on all allies. This Provoke is solid, but I think with Martyr and another champion that has a Provoke set, or a high chance to place Provoke, it's totally not needed. The increased speed is up 100% of the time, because Tuhonarok's in Relentless. His passive, placing the shield for 2 turns at the beginning, is nice, but our champions are tanky enough where they don't need it. And then the decreased attack and decreased defense whenever he's hit is nice, but because we're getting decreased attack and decreased defense from other champions, I don't really think it's needed. The main things that I think Krisk is bringing to this team that we might need to look for in other champions are the increased duration of all buffs, the ally protection, and the Provoke. If we keep Coronar in this team, I think we'll be able to sub out Krisk, as a Provoke from Krisk isn't needed. One of the champions that I think could replace Krisk is actually Godseeker. Godseeker will come in and she'll heal all of our champions and provide the extra sustain if Oella gets eaten and we don't have anyone else to heal the team. She also provides us with the increased duration of all buffs, additional heals, and then gives us the chance to remove the duration of a buff on the enemy. I think this move will kind of substitute for Krisk's A2, as she'll be giving our whole team a heal and increasing the duration of our buffs. The main thing that I think Godseeker does that we don't have on our team right now is provides our team with a revive. The reason this team fails the most is because Head of Wrath will get increased attack and then he'll wipe one of our champions and then everything will start to snowball. I think with her A3 and the revive on death mechanic that she has from her passive, it'll help the team pretty substantially. And her passive also being able to provide an extra 10% heal for all of our champions, along with Oella, should make it so that our team isn't really in risk of dying. I think one of the main drawbacks of using Godseeker is the fact that our A1 doesn't provide an AoE, and she doesn't have War Master. I think a budget option to replace Krisk is probably Anchorite. He gives us an AoE A1 and also heals the ally with the lowest HP by 10% of the damage inflicted. I'm not sure if this works with War Master or not, but it gives a little heal to the lowest HP ally, which could help out. He also comes in with a semi-cleanse and then increases the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. With this being on a 3-turn cooldown, it's pretty similar to Krisk's A2, and being able to remove some of the debuffs could help if Tuhonarok doesn't have a turn yet. The nice thing about Anchorite as well, we can go in and fully heal a target ally and then place increased crit rate and increased crit damage on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So if anyone gets low, he'll be able to fully heal them, and then it'll also place increased crit rate and increased crit damage on the whole team. If you're manualing, he might work pretty well, as you won't need to use this move unless you have someone get really low or the increased crit rate and increased crit damage fall off. If you build Anchorite in your team, you could have 100% uptime on increased crit rate and increased crit damage, and I think it could help get additional damage for your team. I think Geomancer could be an awesome replacement for Sissia as well. Geomancer's A1 is an AoE attack, which also places decreased accuracy on the enemy. While it's only a 40% chance, I think it's high enough where if some of your champions don't have that 300 resistance mark, it could be the difference between your buffs getting stolen or not. Geomancer's A2 also steals the buffs from a target enemy and then attacks them. This means that there won't be any weak hits, and if for whatever reason the Head of Mischief steals your buffs, he can go in and steal them back potentially. Geomancer's A3 of course is the HP burn and weaken, and with the turn meter fills that we get, we'll be able to go in and place weaken on the majority of enemies as well as the HP burn. A couple champions that I think would be great to throw in the team to maybe sub out champions like Coronar or maybe even Krisk are champions like Nekmothar and Ukko. Nekmothar could come in a provoke set, or if you have him in Relentless like I do, he just absolutely fills the turn meter and gets your team back around to their abilities even faster. Nekmothar's A1 gives us a decreased attack, which Chris does as well. He gives us an AoE decreased speed and a leech, which the leech will help our team sustain even better. And then he also comes in with a turn meter fill and an increased speed for our whole team. My Nekmothar is built in a Relentless set at 57k HP, 3.1k defense, 280 speed, and no resistance, and 380 accuracy. You could also come in with Mighty Ukko to fill in a similar role to Coronar. I had already used my Mighty Ukko this week on Brutal, but I think he's just a straight up upgrade from Coronar. My Mighty Ukko's in a Provoke set at 55k HP, 3.2k defense, 243 speed, little resistance, and 342 accuracy. If I were to put him in this team, I'd make sure that his resistance is high enough where he doesn't get his buffs stolen. My Mighty Ukko is only missing books in his A1, so he only has a 60% chance instead of a 75% chance of placing decreased attack. I have him with Brimstone, which I think is pretty solid, and then for his masteries, we have him going down the offense and support tree, grabbing War Master as his tier 6. If you don't have two Hanorok, Inquisitor Shamel can come in and get rid of the fears for you. While I know two Hanorok brings a lot of other things for our team, the main reason that we have her in there is so that she can place block buffs and she provides us with a way to get rid of the fears. If you go in with a champion like Mighty Ukko instead of Coronar, you'll get your block buffs and increased speed, and then Inquisitor Shamel can come in and help you deal with the fears. You could also come in with a champion like Ugo instead of two Hanorok, so that way you get your block buffs and decreased defense. You get an A1 which has a leech, and if you have counterattack on her, you'll have leech on hopefully all of the enemy. And then her A3 provides you with a little bit of a heal, and she'll remove one debuff as well as the heal reduction. My Ugo is built with 49k HP, 3.5k defense, 220 speed, no resistance, and 428 accuracy. I could rebuild this Ugo so that way she's faster and has less accuracy, as well as increase the resistance. She's fully booked out with Cruelty. For her masteries, we have her going down the offensive tree and support tree, making sure to grab additional accuracy under the support tree, and War Master for her tier 6. While this team on the surface looks definitely pay to win because we have 3 Void Legendaries and everyone's a legendary on the team, I just wanted to showcase a team that's actually able to do counterattack. Once people start thinking about counterattack, block damage, and unkillable as actually viable strategies for Hydra, we could go in and make pretty insane teams. If we're able to place block damage on our team for 100% of the time, not have to worry about our buffs getting stolen, we could have insane teams that could help us progress even further. Now that we know that counterattack is an actually viable strategy all the way up to Nightmare Hydra, I want you all to go out and try your best to theorycraft or create your own counterattack teams. If I have those champions, I'll do my best to build them out and we can test and see how well they do. My hope for this video is that the community gets together and we're able to make counterattack teams that are much more accessible and realistic. I really think we have something special here, and I want to do my best to try and improve it as much as possible. If you guys like this kind of content, please let me know in the comments below and consider subscribing. Make sure to share to anyone else that's considering counterattack but doesn't know how to start. Hopefully this is just like traditional clan boss with block damage and unkillable teams. It's something that went from just a concept to being actually viable now, to something that we can make and create insane teams with. That's all I've got in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.